5% of your gross income goes to
Yeah.
the church, right? Because they're trying to make that money. You know, how does the Pope buy that little bulletproof car and all the stuff in Vatican and stuff? You know, he's not working 9 to 5, right? He's taking poor people's money and he's doing that, right? We don't. Right?
That's one concept that always got me. Like,
But you agree with the Islamic aspect of that, right?
I agree that religion is good to have.
Okay, so tell me this. What is holding you back from being a Muslim?
Criminal activity.
Don't worry about criminal activity.
No,
we're not going to take you to court.
No, it's not you guys. It's them. They'll be allowed to have all different kinds of.
Yeah, so trust me.
I don't like
you know who Snowden is?
I don't know. I don't like how this country treats Muslims because of how they are.
Yeah, I feel you.
I don't like that.
So I'll tell you what.
I remember when I was in.
I have a solution for you.
You have a solution?
Yes. You become Muslim. We don't tell anybody. Just keep it between us.
Yeah, sure.
All right?
No.
You don't have to tell the government. You don't have to tell anybody else.
I'm not.
Right? But
I like to read scriptures just because I like to understand how they work. Like last time I was here, which was like 3 years ago, I got a book from someone who was from probably your people.
Yeah.
From
my people.
Your people. Your people. Yeah, fine. Yeah, so I just I don't know.
Good. So read up, and then whenever you're ready, take it and listen.
I don't think
we'll keep it secret.
All
right.
I don't like how this country treats different people.
I don't like how this country treats different people too. But look, I'm a Muslim, and I travel. I got no problems. I go to the mosque. I come home. Nobody's following me. I'm good. You know why? Because I got nothing to hide. You know, they can.
Maybe it's changed over the past decade.
It has changed, right?
Yeah, probably.
But don't let that stop you from accepting the truth.
I always talk about perversion of the book too. Like anyone can pervert the book. Like Dark Ages, it was all perverted. Like,
of the Bible.
They wanted to justify gathering.
I agree with you, right?
King. They would just say the jihad, or they would say the
Crusades.
And they would do the thing. They would go all over Europe and Africa, Asia.
But what does that have to do with Islam, right? Like for example, tomorrow somebody says, "I love Trump," and then he goes and runs his car into a rally of people, right? And we tell, hey, President Trump, that guy followed, and he's like, I don't know nothing to do with him, right? So that's the question, is that if somebody uses the name of somebody, that doesn't affect them, right? So if somebody misuses Islam for their own political ideology, but that doesn't have anything to do with you and your relationship with Allah, right? So Islam has that link between you and your Creator, right? And you can't not have that connection. You gotta have that bond, right? Because that's your Creator. Who gave you life? Allah.
Allah gave me life.
Allah gave you life. Who gave you this oxygen to breathe?
So you don't believe
Allah.
The idea of reincarnation? Do you think?
Let me explain that. But first, tell me, who gives you this oxygen to breathe? Allah.
Trees.
Who gives you trees?
Allah. It's all.
In the end, all of that's from Allah, right?
Okay.
Right? We agree.
It's from somebody.
Right, but
it's hard to grasp the idea of one guy, or not even
a guy, a creator,
all-powerful being,
yes,
that lives up there,
above that, not up here.
We can't see him.
Of course. So let me give you an example, right? Look up at the sky, and what do you see? You see stars. Some of those stars are so far away that by the time you see their light, they're already dead.
Yep.
This is only the first sama. This is only the first sky. Scientists tell us that past that is a darkness, which is so humongous we cannot fathom it as humans. Okay? Now imagine you are in a little planet that is amongst 6 or 7, I don't know if Pluto's a planet today or not, right? Planets in a little solar system that is one amongst billions in one galaxy, which is one amongst billions in this universe. Above that universe is so many more greater creation that we don't even know about, and the creator of all of that is above all of that, right? Now for us to say, I want to see him, you should give me a sign. You see, you agree there? Good. It's a hard concept, but that's why Allah makes it easy for us in the Quran, right? Our belief doesn't have to tell us you have to rationalize Allah. What you have to believe is that you know somebody created you. Right?
One thing I always grasp is that even what you concept from aliens. Do you think there are aliens?
So Allah tells us that there is alameen. There are many worlds and universes in the universe. Like we know there are other types of creation, like what's called the jinn, right? There could be aliens. Jinn's a whole different.
Well, they're spiritual, like.
Angels? No, angels are malaika. They're made out of a light, right? Not like a light like the one you light at night, but like we're made out of dirt, turab, but it doesn't mean that we wash away with water, right? So that's the building block. Jinn are made out of a smokeless fire, not like the regular fire that we're talking about, right? So they're a different dimension, a different creation, right? Their world and our world lives in a parallel, and sometimes they do interact, but they will live in their own kind of dimension, right? I'm trying to explain. Like the malaika also, the angels are here. Like for example, there's what's called dark matter. You can't see it, but scientists believe it's there, right? There is, you know, there are particles in this air that we can't see that exist, right? But they live in their own kind of sphere and we live in our own, right? So jinn are another creation. So we do believe there are other creations. Whether there are little green guys driving UFOs or whatever, I don't know, right? I can't guess at it from my perspective. But the Quran doesn't say that there aren't, right? And it doesn't say that there's green guys in saucers. So if they come and say hello, then Area 51 will be the...
I've believed in them for a long time. Like
cool.
When you see stars move, you wonder if it's a satellite, it's a ship. But even all history, even from China to South America, North America, the areas that we know about, they all believe that creatures would come down, and they would describe it as like dragons or
I feel you.
any kind of creature that would come down from the sky,
right?
And they would greet them.
Okay, but your belief in aliens doesn't stop you from being a Muslim.
No, it's just when you think there's only one.
But there's one creator. No, we as Muslims don't say there's only one planet in the world. Yeah. But we do believe there's one creator. But we don't say that creator only created the earth, right? We believe that Allah is Rabbul Alameen. He is the ruler, the greater, the Lord of all of the different alam, all of the different dimensions, worlds, universes, all of that. So we actually believe, as what you're stating, that there is more than just us, right?
What's your take on Buddhism in their beliefs?
So Buddhism is a philosophy, not a religion, in my opinion, right? Meaning that there was a guy named Mohamed Buddha, who was the original Buddha. He wasn't the guy you see, the little bellied guy,
that was
right?
The description on
Confucius and all that, right? Yeah. So it was an ideology about don't hurt others and be good, and you know, the circle of life and all that kind of stuff. But it's not really a religion. It's not like a divine book was revealed. He didn't go and talk to his creator. So if somebody studies it as a philosophy, that's fine. But if you take it as a practical religion, it doesn't work, right? Because Buddhism cannot answer some of the critical questions that a human needs to know. For example, where did we come from, right? Mahatma Buddha never really explained that. Other Buddhists have their own ideas, right? Also the idea, I mean, I studied an author named Suzuki, not the car. There's a gentleman named Suzuki, not the car, that's a guy, who wrote excellent books on Buddhism. I studied them. But in them, basically, the teachings would not fit in society today. For example, he said, you cannot repel violence with violence. Meaning, let's say somebody breaks into your house and you have a mom alive?
Yeah, my parents, yeah.
Okay, so let's say somebody puts a knife to your mom's neck, about to stab her, right? Yeah. What would you do?
Beat the crap out of them.
But then that's against Buddhism. In Buddhism, you cannot use violence to repel violence, so you got to sit there and meditate while he kills your mom. I'm not having that.
The only time you're able to break one of the rules is if it was to stop suffering for another person.
No, you can't.
I've looked this up too.
What book did you read that in?
It was a Buddhist book. I can't remember the author's name. But
so look it up, because Suzuki writes that if you use violence to repel violence, then you are using the same violence and you become as bad as the violent person. That's why I said it's not practical, right? You can't implement that, right? I'll give you another idea.
All right.
What are these?
Teeth?
Well, what kind of teeth? These sharp ones here.
Canine.
Canines.
Right.
What are canines for?
Biting.
Biting what?
Meat.
So humans, by design, are meant to eat meat.
Yeah, nothing's wrong with eating meat. Like
but in true Buddhism, you can't eat meat.
I've been to a Buddhist temple down near like 43rd Street.
Yeah.
And the I don't care if they're the masters. What are they called? The monks. The monks there. Like I remember one of the novice monks, and he would talk about giving them money so they can go out and get hamburgers. He even said,
nice.
The concept that they had back then is not the same as it should now as the days.
But I mean, that monk was probably kind of breaking some of the rules.
No.
Because I've sat with monks in Thailand, around the world, in India, and all of them agreed. In Buddhism, you cannot eat meat.
If you're a monk, per se.
No, not just monks.
I was in Thailand. The guy there, he did Muay Thai since he was 8 years old.
Was he a monk though, or was he a Muay Thai fighter?
He ate chicken and...
Yeah, but he might not have been a Buddhist.
He was a Buddhist. He just didn't...
He just didn't follow that rule.
No, he wasn't a monk. They were able to do that. So they found the concept that they can.
Okay, but then that monk you meant eating the hamburger was breaking the rules because he was a monk, right?
No, the monk who was doing it, he was a novice monk. He's still learning the concept of all of it. Like,
so you can keep eating meat until you get like a certain level, or?
I guess there's a certain level where you enter life, and like even then, when their master died, like one of the masters died, he was a monk, and he was probably 8 or 9, I think, one of those.
Wow.
He was the leader over there at that school. And when he died, they actually went on a fast for like I think 10 days or 2 weeks, something like that. They had drinks. That's all they would have. But they didn't eat
drinks like water or
water. Yeah.
Okay.
Water.
I thought they were drinking beers and
No,
stuff.
they weren't drinking beer. No, but
can they drink beer then?
He does, but not during that time. Though, obviously, they went on special, and then they would get the feeling of that
being drunk.
Not drunk. No, I'm not talking about alcohol. I'm talking about when they were when they were celebrating their master's death. Even after 100 days, they celebrated it too.
But see, the question is, where did they get all that from?
They
just made it up, right? And Buddha didn't say any of that, right?
Even Buddhists for this, they believe there's a hell and a heaven. They believe there can be reincarnation. Like if you have a bad life, like the guy who could rape children,
Right.
he goes on, he gets away with it all. When he's grown, he grows into a cockroach, and then they spush him. That's how they would believe it.
But what is the evidence for any of that? They just made that up, right? I mean,
they can't remember dying. And when they do die, they either...
No, I'm saying is there's no scriptural evidence for that, right?
There's no scriptural evidence.
How you doing? Feel free.
There's no scriptural evidence of a lot.
Right, so we're saying in Islam we have scriptural evidence, revelation from our Creator of what is